Welcome to The Right Focus, a podcast for writers, newbies and veterans, and everyone in between. We're hosted by M.A. Lee with the assistance of Remy Black and Edie Rooms, all from Writers Inc. books. Our focus is productivity, process, craft, and tools. Each episode lasts as long as it takes to fix a quick dinner, drive a short commute, or take a brisk walk. Resources and links are in the show notes. Visit us at therightfocus.blogspot.com. Now, on to this week's episode. First, before we launch into the new series, we need to finish out the word count challenge. 500 words daily as a minimum, which totals 15,500 words for the month, with no days skipped and those skip days made up ASAP. I didn't need rules 5 and 6 about skip days and made up words, although sometimes achieving even 500 words was difficult. I do believe it's best to write daily, and 500 minimum is reasonable for those hectic days. How did the last 4 days of the word count challenge go? Wednesday the 28th, I managed 600 words on the 5th and final story for the collection, bringing that story to 1,650 words. Then the 29th was a double duty day, 436 words on the story, the remaining 154 on the description and setup for the next podcast series. Friday the 30th, drafting the first podcast for the next series with this draft to do when everything is over and done on Saturday. Currently, the next podcast draft is 2,015 words in a rough estimate. Final day, the 31st on Saturday. Approximately 700 words to finish the rough shape of the 5th short story. The draft is also completed now with a total of 4,519 words, which added 683 new words. I knew this story was going to run short, but that's not a problem. And this little addendum to wrap up the word count challenge for August, 1,583 words on this final day, which is 4,788 words for the 4 days, and 23,644 words for the month, which is an average of 762 words per day. Challenge completed successfully. Yippee! Now it's on to our next series, Fall into Poetry. My self-indulgent summer is over. Time to gather up the 4 rains that are the purpose of the right focus. Every writer is after memorable writing, whatever will strengthen our words and ideas so they haunt our audience. We want our audience to return again and again to our writing, either to recapture that original impact or to puzzle out a question that wasn't answered. Capture our audience, and they stay with our writing to the end. Satisfy our audience, and they seek more of our writing. This is our goal, win-win, us and them. The intrigue or mystery we bring to the words, the pleasurable entertainment our words provide, and the something more, the quality of our writing, all combine into an experience that has our audience following us to whatever project we publish. These truths hold no matter the writing style, short story or poem, novel or staged play, song or film. Our series, Fall into Poetry, would seem to appeal only to poets, but that's only a surface glance. Look deeper. We writers can learn from any writing style. Fiction teaching nonfiction, poetry teaching drama. Any mix-up we contemplate. Throw the writing styles into the air, snatch out 2. That combination has tons of crossover lessons. The Fall into Poetry series begins with a song that is a story poem, or a narrative song. We have characters and conflict, movement through difficulties, and an emotional climax for those characters and for us, the audience. This story song comes from the realm of popular music decades ago, still impressing new hearers even in this world of music videos, when the video often has more influence on a song's instant popularity. It was recorded in November 1969 and released a year later, December 1970. As a writer, I would love to know the date for the original idea and for the completed poem, which should be long before the music arrangement was completed. The song's endurance proves that it is memorable writing by one of our greatest modern songwriters, unfortunately lost to us last year. The song is If You Could Read My Mind by Gordon Lightfoot, a ballad when most songs are lyric. I wish I knew enough about music to discover how Read My Mind uses instrumental chords and harmonics and dissonance to reinforce the words. Alas, I know very little, only enough to walk me into trouble. So I'll avoid trouble. Music genius Rick Beato has a wonderful explanation for Read My Mind. I'll link to his YouTube in the show notes, along with links for a performance by Lightfoot and for the lyrics. We'll find more than enough in looking at Read My Mind's 4 requirements of song, its use of the ballad, and then a bit of those special touches that increase the memorability of the story poem. If you're unfamiliar with Read My Mind, then pause this podcast and head off to find a new song to add to your favorites list. The links are in the show notes. We start with the 4 requirements of song. When all 4 meld into writing, then the song or story takes flight to the realm of divine. What are those 4 requirements? 1. Clear communication of the central theme, of the points or topics that develop that theme. 2. Heartfelt emotion, the emotions that we universally share. The strongest emotion is love, and its strong iteration that resonates powerfully for us all is lost love. 3. Storylines, ones that haunt us, that we repeat. Films do this. We count lines from great movies, a miniature sharing with those around us, from Terminator's I'll be back to Finding Nemo's mine, mine, mine. The former a threat, the latter a bit of comic relief. Finally, 4. Powerful imagery that gives us a strong visual for that communicated theme, heartfelt emotion, and haunting words. The first stanza gives us the setting of an old-time movie. A bit of alliteration in the second line, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Those repeated T's with the echoing sound of those tell and tell, noun and verb, the 2 main thoughts of any idea. Those old-time movies always make us cry with their stories of love that cannot be. Why is this love not possible? It's the chain-bound ghost, whether in a wishing well, a castle dark, or a fortress strong. Our main character is amorphous, intangible, a ghost. Even if he could embrace his love, she would not sense his arms, or she would only sense their coldness. This love can never again be. We're given no explanation for our character as ghost here in the first stanza, haunting the wishing well where lovers once went to toss a coin for their future and fortune. Simple reversal strengthens the phrases castle dark and fortress strong. Whatever separated this couple and bound our main character until he became a ghost to her has impregnable power. The movie of the first stanza gives way to the paperback novel in the second. Not a literary tome, but a melodrama, popular and powerful, common to all, still agony for all who have wanted to love and lost that love, the heartfelt emotion we've all faced or feared. The stanza's irony is coupled in the brief yet resonant lines, when he reached the part where the heartaches come, the hero would be me. but heroes often fail. Now we have a hint of the reason this love is lost. In a time of great emotional agony, the heroine reached for the hero, expecting to depend upon him, only for the hero to fail. We don't know the reason, we only know the truth. He didn't stand for her when she needed him at her side. And here is one of the most powerful lines. She won't read that book again because the ending's just too hard to take. Oh, we've wept over that in our lives. The inability to go back and trust again. The inability to go back and rely on someone else who has let us down. The third stanza introduces more problems, more failures that break the love between them. We sympathized with the poor ghost of the first stanza. We shook our heads sadly for the failed hero of the second stanza. The third stanza twists everything around, giving us hints of the long breakup without giving us any truth of the heart. I walk away like a movie star who gets burned in a three-way script. That makes us once more sympathize with our main character. Then comes the confusing line, enter number 2. Is that act 2 of the relationship? It can't be, can it? Enter number 2, a movie queen, to play the scene. Is number 2 a second woman that he claims to love? The next line suggests it with a movie queen who is bringing all the good things out in me. Ah, it is a second woman. Better for him than the first. And that's a cutting remark, backed up with the hurtful lines, for now, love, let's be real. I never thought I could act this way, and I've got to say that I just don't get it. He is saying things he never thought he would say, behaving in ways he thought beneath him, giving back what he receives. Emotions that we all have regretted once that hurtful scene is over. Lost love has become hateful in its bitterness, and he laments, I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone, and I just can't get it back. The concluding stanza 4 starts as stanza 1 did, with the powerful wishing line, if you can read my mind, love, and the ghost in the castle dark or fortress strong, reminding us that these two once loved each other, although only the ghost of that emotion remains. Then the stanza changes. The stories always end. Movie, book, song, it doesn't matter. It's over. And here's a surprise. After he has his movie queen to replace her, he still loves her. He still wants the love that they had. Read between the lines, he asks. I'm just trying to understand the feelings that you lack. Is he gaslighting her? Is he just blind? He deciphered it earlier, admitting that he's failed her. Yet I think he truly does not understand how that failure killed her love. And the 4 lines repeated from stanza 3, I never thought I could feel this way. I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone and I just can't get it back. The lament is the same, yet different, more confused, as his memory of the times that led to their breakup become hazy, intangible, amorphous, a ghost of reality. Ballads, whether old or new, folk or literary, all have 3 subjects, love, betrayal, and death. We begin with love. Our main character sees himself as a ghost, but it's the love that is the ghost. His failure as her hero betrayed that love. Then they both betrayed each other, her seeking another love while he tried to hold on to their relationship, then him finding his movie queen who made things right for him. Not all things. He still has that first failed relationship that he still can't quite figure out where it went wrong or admit to himself where it went wrong. That original love between them, it's dead now, cold, buried, with only a memory of the best of their love still haunting him. Ballads are known for repetition. often heavy-handed repetition. Gordon Lightfoot avoids that heavy-handedness. He chooses a circular construction with a double circle, first stanza repeating in the fourth, then the lament of the third stanza creating a double circle into the fourth. Double circles? Double rings? Like the rings exchanged in a wedding. But these rings are thrown out of place. That double circle is just one of the special touches Lightfoot uses to structure his ballad. The other special touch is a twist-up, or a mix-up in the rhyme scheme. The first stanza sets a pattern for the rhyme, the expected ending rhyme, lines 2 and 4, and lines 7, 8, and 9, with a pick back up of line 6. Stanza 2 changes the ending rhyme pattern. Lines 2, 4, and 7 rhyme, using the same sounds as stanza 1. Line 6 reaches back to the second rhymes in stanza 1. But as this relationship is starting to fall apart, the rhyme is also starting to fall apart. Then stanza 3 uses a completely different rhyming pattern. Stanza 3, unlike all the others, mixes around the rhyme scheme, which echoes the mix around that jumbles up the relationship. Harmony is lost. Dissonance, disharmony, does not replace it. Rhyme still occurs, but not where our main character expected it. The first 2 lines of this stanza match nothing. They wouldn't. He's getting burned in a 3-way script. The movie Queen triples a rhyme. Queen, scene, things. Then the rhyme cascades out of place. The end of line 7, way, matches to say in the middle of line 8. Line 9 ends with wrong, while 10 is centered with gone. Also, the alliterative W's of line 9 stress the words where we went wrong. Read My Mind is a quiet ballad song that haunts its audience as much as the lost love, its betrayal, and its death haunts the main character. We writers should take a special note of how clearly the main points are expressed, and the mysteries unknown, those parts, merely bring us back to think and ponder, just as the main character ponders those mysteries. All the details aren't necessary to understand the story, but they give us reason to consider the tale these thoughts are telling. With a few well-chosen words, Lightfoot paints his images in the first stanza, then he plays with the idea of story, old-time movie, paperback novel. The double circle ending is one that we can easily adopt for our plot and subplots, entwining them rather than finishing them separately. And breaking the rhyming structure not once but twice is a good lesson to us about breaking out of expected plot structures to echo our thematic purpose. I must end, though, with a thought haunting me as I drafted this episode. Read My Mind is a tale told by an idiot, just like Macbeth, who let his first and greatest love slip away from a careless failing. And that's a true tragedy. Thanks for listening to The Right Focus, a podcast for writers at all levels, hosted by Emma Lee from Writers Inc. Books, assisted by Remy Black and Edie Runes. Our focus is productivity, process, craft, and tools. Music is licensed through Audio Jungle, called Background Music Loop. Its creator is Alexander Polishchuk, known on Audio Jungle as Plastic 3. The music comes in different iterations. Show notes and resource links for this and other episodes can be found at therightfocus.blogspot.com. Write to us at winkbooks@aol.com when you have questions, comments, and speculations. We will try to answer you as quickly as possible. By the way, we will not mind your email address. That's rude. If you find value in our content, share with your writing friends or write a review. We're small beans here without the advertising budget of the big peeps, and you can make a difference. And whatever occurs, write on.